For some reason, during that period of me moving back to Nigeria, even though color was no longer my issue, I started to be more cognizant of my gender. I'm cognizant of both in the US, which makes it like more. But in Nigeria, it's like, okay, we take away this, but this gender thing now sort of becomes more clear in terms of, okay, so it might not be my color, but it might be my gender. You know, the gate man will address you one way because you're not married, and then he will address the
that. I've heard all sorts of stories.
Things,
Did you ever face like the whole apartment issue?
Oh,
thing?
I did. My realtor was like, do you have a ring you can wear? And I was like, I'm sorry, I don't understand what you're saying. And she was like, well, we might just not want them to know that you are unmarried. So I don't understand. You know, I have the money, I have the receipts, I have whatever pay stub you need. I can afford this apartment. And she was just like, oh, it doesn't really matter. And I was like, oh, okay. And so I went and found me a ring. Because they were like, man, all this, I have the money, I just ship. So I said, okay, fine. So I wore the ring. And it was so crazy because I got there and I was like, this thing must be like even worse than I imagined. If you're just trying to get a job by any means, like what you might be set up for, you know, in those ways. So I started to be really concerned about the plight of women in not just Nigeria, but in other societies in Africa where being a woman was seen as a disadvantage.